What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report. Now I want to go over a lot of the stuff that we've been hearing over the past few weeks regarding the child tax credit payments, regarding student loan forgiveness, and really any additional relief, because right now what we're seeing is Democrats have had enough. Democrats are getting tired of Senator Joe Manchin dictating what is going to go into a bill and what isn't. They're tired hearing about gas prices continuing to go up, but nobody's doing anything about it. And they also don't want to wait until 2023 to see bills finally passed, because we currently have a 5,050 Senate. But really, what is their plan? What are they going to do moving forward? Well, this is where things get very interesting. Okay, so one of the things that I can tell you is right now, Democrats want to do something, they just don't know exactly how to get there, okay? And because of all the movement going on, the discussion being had pretty much behind the scenes, senior Democrats say that we need to pass something, and they want to pass President Biden's Build Back Better Act, or your economic agenda, or building a better American, whatever you want to call it. But they do not want to risk higher inflation. Democrats believe they will completely lose the House in the Senate, and if this happens, the President Biden addresses just 2 weeks ago, the only move he has is to pull out his veto pen. That's it. That's all he able to do, because Republicans will control the House and the Senate. They pass their bills, send it over to President Biden, and President Biden will have to either sign it or accept it and turn it into law, or he will veto the bill. That would be very difficult if he vetoes every single bill that Republicans send to him, because guess what? Republicans will just keep sending his bills, and come time for the election in 2024, he would be very tough for a Democratic president who just vetoed everything that was sent to him. It'd be very difficult to see that person. So that's what is causing a lot of these issues at this time. But here's what we do know: even though senior Democrats don't want to cause any additional inflation, they are attempting to find a group of provisions that could pass through a budget reconciliation. Now here's the reason why this is a problem, and right now there's only a couple of provisions that would do that. But the problem is that Democratic leaders don't want to move on a budget reconciliation unless there's more to presented by an economic agenda that will be included. Passing something with just one provision is not going to work. Passing something with the child tax credit payment, not going to happen. Passing something to lower gas prices, probably not going to happen. So where are lawmakers right now, and when are they going to come to an agreement on something? Okay, here's the reason why I want to bring this up. And first, let's talk about this, because right now what we are seeing is that there's not going to be an agreement on something soon. And the first thing is that lawmakers are looking at is inflation, and currently the Federal Reserve is raising rates. But here's the expectation. The expectation is that inflation, if it doesn't go down over the next 2 to 3 months, and some say it will not go down next month, and the chances are if this war with Russia and Ukraine continues, we will not see it come down for probably 3 months. Well, if inflation doesn't come down in the next 2 to 3 months, then according to Joe Powell from the Federal Reserve, he made it very clear that there will have to be drastic changes, which could mean that they would have to really increase interest rates, and this would most likely push the US into a recession. Because of this worry, lawmakers are not going to be pushing to pass President Biden's Build Back Better Act or economic agenda until potentially after this, till after we get some clarification as to what is going on with inflation. Once we see this inflation, it comes down. But also keep in mind that many Democrats believe that the Biden economic agenda would help lower inflation and provide relief for the American people. And the reason why this is so important is because economists don't believe this. Many economists believe almost the exact opposite, and believe that providing relief wouldn't ease inflation worries. It would actually increase them, which is exactly what Senator Joe Manchin has been worried about for the past 8 to 10 months. So here's what is currently being discussed, and coming up with a solution to a bipartisan bill would be the ideal solution. And so the first thing that they want to do, first thing that Democrats want to do, or one of the top things, is to get the child tax credit payments back, because there's bipartisan support here. Senator Mitt Romney was the one that proposed that the $3,600, $4,000 child tax credit payments, or $4,200, whatever it was. So there's bipartisan support here and getting children the funding that they need. But this would also likely cause additional inflation. The next thing is climate, and this has bipartisan support. This has had bipartisan support for some time, but Democrats really worried that they won't pass this bill just as climate change alone, because it would actually take away their leverage from getting other provisions passed as well. Because if you put climate, which has bipartisan support, was another provisions that doesn't have bipartisan support, even if it's a small one. For instance, like universal pre-K or paid family medical leave, or even the child tax credit payments. Another thing that Democrats are looking into is student debt forgiveness. Right now, we have until May 1st, okay? And we are seeing lawmakers getting a lot of press about this. Because again, we have until May 1st, because that on May 1st, that's when the payment pause expires. So what would happen is all these people have that student debt are going to have to start making these payments again. And when some are saying that the average debt payments per month is $460, that's a substantial payment. But that is why the White House is said to believe, okay, what we're seeing right now is the White House believes that we are going to extend the payment pause. It's going to be extended for another couple months. That's likely going to happen. The hope that would be that this could take the payment positive right into the student forgiveness program, which would mean that the $1.75 trillion in student debt would likely get produced. But also keep in mind that the administration has canceled billions of dollars already in student debt. But again, the total amount is peanuts compared to the total amount forgiven already is peanut compared to the $1.75 trillion in total debt already. But here's the good news. The good news is that according to a White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain, just a few weeks ago, he started that the White House will have a decision on student debt forgiveness before the payment pause expiration date, that's again May 1st. But experts believe that this would help millions of Americans if we see that the average person pays, let's say $400 or to $460 per month in student debt for these payments. Well, if this debt forgiven, that means they have an additional $400 to $450 every single month that they can use for other things. But that's what's so interesting about what's going on right now is lawmakers are looking at ways to provide additional relief, but they're not looking at stimulus like what we saw over the past couple years. That is not the discussions. Let's provide tax credits and breaks, and let's provide some incentives to go back to work. Let's get children into school earlier so parents don't have to pay for childcare, can go back to work, and everything turns over even better. What should we look for next? Where is the relief coming? And this is what we're seeing. Alright, so if you have any question whatsoever, please ask your question down in the comment section below. So thank you guys for watching, considering subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.